Okay, so hello everyone. So we are from group two. So today we're gonna present about managing ethical and social responsibility in an MNC. So before we start, let me introduce myself. My name is Nura Aziza with last three digit of MPM is 030. And my friend is Arif Rahmansyah with last three digit of MPM is 123. So I'm gonna explain about international ethics. So international business ethics refers to ethical problem faced by multinational manager as they do business with other countries. And the second is corporate social responsibility refers to the nation that business have a responsibility to society beyond making profits. Next one is key global ethical issue. There is three: labor rights, environmentally pollution, corruption, and bribery. So labor rights represent one of the most crucial ethical issue multinational are facing today, and for environmental pollution, multinational are reportedly criticized for ignoring environmental regulation and for polluting the air and the environment. And corruption is the misuse of untrusted power for private gain. Corruption occurs when someone prefers a breed and does something that they are legally prohibited by for doing. And multinational approach to global ethical. The first is ethical relativism, that is considered that each society view of ethics are leg- legitimated and ethical. And second is ethical universalism. There are basic moral principles that transcend, transcend culture and national boundaries, and for convenient relativism is when company use ethical relativism that to behave any way that they please, use the excuse of differentiated in culture. And next one is pressure supporting ethical universalism. So Donaldson suggests that multinationals should follow ethical universalism based on moral languages. So moral languages describe the basic way that people used to think about ethical decision and to explain their ethical choice. So he proposed perspective ethical for multinational. That is, multinational should engage in business practice that avoid negative consequence to stakeholder. Next one is building the society responsible company. So stakeholder analysis is any group or entity that is affected by a multinational decision or action is known as the stakeholder. So there are two main types of stakeholder. There is primary stakeholder and secondary stakeholder.
Okay, so right now we'll continue the presentation. So it's about the codes of conduct, specify appropriate behaviors for employees while also defining the multinational's responsibilities and approaches in terms of its interactions with its stakeholders. And why are codes of conduct important? Code of conduct announced to all the stakeholders the ethical values of the multinational. By specifying the appropriate employees' behavior, the multinational also hopes that it can inform its employees of situation whereby unethical behavior might occur. The next is successful implementation of codes of conduct. By training their employees, multinational can teach employees values and other qualities that matter to the multinational and their stakeholders. Formal methods, including using various means of control to ensure that the multinational behave ethically, Informal methods is the organizational culture can play an important role in ensuring that employees behave consistently with the multinational expectation. Although formal and informal methods exist to implement codes of conduct, it is important to note that formal training remains the preferred method of informing employees of the correct and ethical behavior. And the next is ethics monitoring and enforcement. So, a successful ethics program is not possible without some form of monitoring and enforcement. In other words, a program can be effective unless the multinational has some way of measuring performance and progress. Furthermore, some form of enforcement is necessary. Employees need to be rewarded if they are conforming the multinational codes and punished if they are violating these codes. So other key of the successful socially responsible multinational, they are setting the example at the top, making ethics part of the multinational strategy, investing financial resources, involving all employees, communicating, and establish ethical culture. So here we're gonna talk about the corporate responsibility, sustainability, and governance committee of Nike Inc. So this is the video.
Startups these days who are indeed starting with sustainability just built in from the beginning. We have a different challenge, which is we are retrofitting an old model. But at Nike, we're lucky because we like to disrupt ourselves. Now, we're a really fast-growing company, so we have a massive footprint. You know, we serve customers all over the world. We have a value chain that stretches around the world. If you narrow it down, the first thing we do is we obsess the data. So we obsess where is our footprint. So then we narrow it down further and we say, well, what are those key materials? Well, it's cotton and it's polyester and it's leather. Well, how can we think about reducing their footprint? And that's where our innovation acumen comes in. So we come up with solutions around moving to organic cotton or better cotton. We're even looking at radical alternatives to cotton. We're in the factories, we're even down to the raw materials, thinking about how can we do this differently? How can we reduce those limits in that old thinking and transform and serve the customer?
Okay, so we're gonna skip it to the next. So for the case, Nike has a special committee called the Corporate Responsibility, Sustainability and Governance Committee, or CRSG Committee. This committee is like a group of advisors who help make sure Nike is following the rules and doing good things for the environment, society, and its employees. The CRSG committee has two main jobs. The first one is help the board of directors, and the second is help Nike be a responsible company. The CRSG committee also has other responsibilities like reviewing suggestions from shareholders and making sure their own committee is working well. They have the power to hire experts to help them with their work. So the conclusion, for a big company like Nike, doing the right thing globally involves handling tricky issues like fair labor, protecting the environment, and avoiding corruption. Nike's approach, led by its corporate responsibility, sustainability, and governance committee, tries to be fair to everyone while still following important ethical rules. The CRSG committee plays a key role in advising and making sure Nike stays on the right track by reviewing suggestions and making sure the committee itself works well. Okay, so there, so this the presentation from us. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.